Your gun rights can vanish in 24 hours, no trial, no conviction, just a single phone call to law enforcement. Right now, there are 6 legal triggers that can strip away your Second Amendment rights before you ever see a courtroom. And if you're not aware of every single one, you're one mistake away from losing your firearms permanently. I'm breaking down the 6 hidden tripwires that end gun ownership overnight. These aren't convictions, these are administrative actions, restraining orders, and legal processes that bypass the criminal justice system entirely. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid and how to protect your rights if you're ever targeted by one of these mechanisms. This is happening right now across America. Last month alone, over 4,000 gun owners lost their firearms without ever being charged with a crime. The legal system has created backdoors that strip your gun rights instantly, and most people have no idea these exist until federal agents are at their door demanding they surrender every firearm they own. Number 1. Emergency restraining orders. Here's what most gun owners don't realize. Someone can file for an emergency restraining order against you, and the moment a judge signs it, you have 24 hours to surrender every firearm you own. No hearing, no chance to defend yourself, just an extempore order based on one person's testimony, and your gun rights are gone. This happens during divorces, neighbor disputes, even arguments between family members. The petitioner goes to court, tells their side of the story without you present, and if the judge believes there's any potential threat, they issue the order. Under Federal Law 18 U.S.C. Section 922G8, possessing a firearm while subject to a restraining order is a federal felony carrying up to 10 years in prison. Here's what makes this devastating. You don't get to present your evidence until the full hearing, which could be 2 weeks later. But those gun rights? Gone immediately. I've seen cases where a vindictive ex-spouse filed a false restraining order specifically to disarm someone, and it worked. The person lost their carry permit, their firearms, and spent $15,000 in legal fees just to get the order dismissed months later. Your protection starts before any conflict escalates. First, document everything in disputes with partners, neighbors, or family members, texts, emails, witnesses. Second, if you're served with an emergency restraining order, comply immediately. Do not keep even one firearm hidden, because that's a federal felony. Third, hire an attorney within 24 hours to fight the order at the full hearing. The temporary order might be automatic, but the permanent one requires proof, and that's your chance to get your rights back. But there's an even more dangerous threat that doesn't require anyone filing paperwork against you. Number 2. Mental health holds and involuntary commitments. If law enforcement or a medical professional believes you're a danger to yourself or others, they can place you on a psychiatric hold in the moment that happens. Federal law prohibits you from owning firearms. This isn't about being convicted of a crime. This is about a 72-hour evaluation that can permanently end your gun rights. Here's the scenario gun owners need to understand. You're going through a divorce. You make an offhand comment to a friend about feeling depressed. They call the police for a wellness check. Officers show up, decide you seem unstable, and transport you to a psychiatric facility for evaluation. Under most state laws, that involuntary commitment gets reported to the FBI's NICS database, and you're now a prohibited person under 18 U.S.C. Section 922G4. The consequences are life-altering. Even if you're released after 72 hours with a clean bill of health, that commitment stays on your record. You cannot purchase firearms. You cannot possess firearms. If you lie on a Form 4473 to buy a gun, that's perjury, a felony carrying 5 years in federal prison. I've seen veterans lose their gun rights permanently because a VA doctor reported them after they sought help for PTSD. Here's what you must know. First, be extremely careful about what you say to medical professionals, and law enforcement statements about depression, anxiety, or suicidal thoughts can trigger involuntary holds. Second, if you're placed on a hold, immediately request a hearing to challenge the commitment. Most states allow this within days. Third, understand your state's restoration process. Some states allow you to petition to have your gun rights restored after a mental health commitment, but it's complex and expensive. This next mistake is where I see law-abiding gun owners get blindsided because they think outdated charges don't matter anymore. Number 3. Old misdemeanor domestic violence convictions, even from decades ago. You might have a misdemeanor domestic violence conviction from 20 years ago that you forgot about. Maybe it was a fight with an ex-girlfriend. You took a plea deal, paid a fine, and moved on. Here's the problem. Under the Lautenberg Amendment, any misdemeanor domestic violence conviction, no matter how old, permanently prohibits you from owning firearms. No statute of limitations, no expiration date. This is called the boyfriend loophole closure, and it's expanded dramatically in recent years. The definition of domestic violence now includes former dating partners, not just spouses. If you had any physical altercation with someone you dated, even if it was a shoving match 25 years ago, and you were convicted of any misdemeanor involving force or threatened force, you are a prohibited person today under federal law. The penalty for possession is severe, up to 10 years in federal prison and a $250,000 fine. And here's what makes this particularly dangerous. Many gun owners don't realize they're prohibited until they try to buy a new firearm and get denied by NICS. Then they panic and try to sell their existing guns, but the damage is done. Federal prosecutors have records showing you owned firearms after your conviction date, and that's multiple felony counts. Your only protection is knowing your history. First, pull your complete criminal record from every state you've lived in. Misdemeanor convictions you forgot about can still disqualify you. Second, if you find a domestic violence conviction, consult an attorney immediately about expungement or pardon options. Some states allow this, and it can restore your federal gun rights. Third, never lie on a Form 4473 if you're unsure about your eligibility. Get a legal opinion before attempting to purchase. What most gun owners don't realize is that you don't even need a conviction for the next one to destroy your rights. Number 4. Active substance abuse, including marijuana, even in legal states. Question 21E on the Form 4473 asks, are you an unlawful user of, or addicted to, marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, or any other controlled substance? If you use marijuana, even if it's legal in your state, you are federally prohibited from owning firearms. Period. The ATF has made this explicitly clear. Marijuana is still a Schedule I controlled substance under federal law, and any use makes you a prohibited person under 18 U.S.C. Section 922G3. Here's where gun owners get destroyed. You live in Colorado. You have a medical marijuana card. You think you're following state law. You go to buy a firearm, and you answer no to question 21E because you think medical marijuana doesn't count. That's perjury, a federal felony. Or you answer yes truthfully, and the dealer denies the sale and reports you. Now the ATF knows you possess firearms while using a controlled substance. The consequences are catastrophic. Federal prosecutors have charged gun owners with felony possession after finding marijuana and firearms in the same home. It doesn't matter if the marijuana was legally purchased under state law. The federal penalty is up to 10 years in prison. I've seen cases where a gun owner had a single marijuana gummy in their car during a traffic stop, and because they had a concealed carry permit, they were arrested for felony possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. The only way to stay legal is complete abstinence. First, if you use marijuana for any reason, medical or recreational, you cannot legally own firearms under federal law. Second, if you have a medical marijuana card, you should not possess firearms, even if you're not actively using. Third, understand that other substances count as unprescribed. Adderall, pain pills without a prescription, even CBD products with THC content can trigger this prohibition if law enforcement considers you a user. But here's where it gets even more terrifying. The next trigger doesn't require you to do anything wrong at all. Number 5. Extreme Risk Protection Orders, commonly called red flag laws. 21 states now have red flag laws that allow family members, law enforcement, or even co-workers to petition a court to confiscate your firearms based on nothing more than a statement that you might be a danger. No charges filed, no crime committed, just someone's testimony that they're concerned, and a judge can order immediate seizure of every gun you own. Here's the terrifying reality. These orders are granted ex parte, meaning you don't get to defend yourself before your guns are taken. Someone files a petition claiming you made a threatening statement or seem unstable. A judge reviews it alone with no hearing, no cross-examination, and if they find probable cause, they issue the order. Law enforcement shows up at your home within hours and demands you surrender every firearm. Refuse, and you're arrested for contempt of court. The penalties for violating a red flag order are severe. In most states, it's a felony to possess firearms, while subject to an ERPO, carrying 1 to 5 years in prison. And here's the worst part. These orders can last 6 months to a year, and in some states, they can be renewed indefinitely. I've seen cases where family members used red flag laws as weapons during custody disputes or inheritance fights, filing petitions with false claims specifically to disarm someone they had a grudge against. Your protection requires immediate legal action. First, if you're served with an ERPO, completely surrender all firearms to law enforcement or a licensed dealer within the timeframe specified, usually 24 hours. Second, hire an attorney immediately to prepare for the full hearing, which typically occurs within 14 days. This is your chance to present evidence and witnesses to prove you're not a threat. Third, document everything that led to the order: texts, emails, witness statements, because false accusations can be challenged, but you need evidence. This final trigger is the one that catches the most gun owners by surprise because it happens through the mail. Number 6. Federal indictments for felonies. Your gun rights vanish the moment you're indicted, not convicted. Here's what gun owners don't understand about federal law. Under 18 U.S.C. Section 922N, if a federal grand jury indicts you for any crime punishable by more than 1 year in prison, you are immediately prohibited from possessing firearms even before trial, even if you're innocent, even if the charges are eventually dismissed. The indictment alone triggers the prohibition. This happens faster than you think. Federal investigators build a case quietly. You might not even know you're under investigation. Then one day, a grand jury issues an indictment, and within hours, federal agents execute a search warrant to seize every firearm in your home. You haven't been convicted, you haven't had your day in court, but your Second Amendment rights are suspended indefinitely. The consequences of violating this are crushing. If you possess firearms after indictment, that's a separate federal felony under 18 U.S.C. Section 922G1, carrying up to 10 years in prison. And here's the trap. Many gun owners don't immediately surrender their firearms after indictment because they assume they're innocent until proven guilty. Wrong. Federal prosecutors add firearm possession charges on top of the original indictment, and now you're facing decades in prison instead of years. Your protection starts the moment you think you're under investigation. First, if federal agents contact you or execute a search warrant, hire a criminal defense attorney immediately and do not wait for an indictment. Second, if you're indicted, surrender all firearms within 24 hours to law enforcement or transfer them to a family member who's legally allowed to possess them, and do not keep even one for protection. Third, understand that these prohibitions remain in effect until your case is resolved. If you're acquitted or charges are dismissed, you can petition to have your rights restored, but attempting to possess firearms during the legal process is a separate felony. Let's recap the 6 legal triggers that can end your gun rights overnight without trial or conviction. Emergency restraining orders: 24 hours to surrender all firearms based on ex parte testimony. Mental health holds and involuntary commitments: a 72-hour evaluation can permanently prohibit you. Old misdemeanor domestic violence convictions: no statute of limitations, permanent prohibition. Active substance abuse, including marijuana, even legal state use triggers federal prohibition. Extreme risk protection orders: red flag laws allow confiscation based on unproven claims. Federal indictments for felony prohibition begin the moment you're indicted, not convicted. Any one of these triggers can cost you thousands in legal fees, your freedom, and your right to own firearms forever, without ever being convicted of a crime in a courtroom. Don't let confusion about gun laws put you at risk. Subscribe to Guns Law Guide so you never miss an update that could keep you legal and protected. I break down complex gun laws every week so you can carry with confidence and avoid the legal traps that destroy gun owners just like you. Next video, I'm covering the 9 gun purchasing mistakes that cost first-time buyers their freedom, including the one error on your Form 4473 that triggers an immediate FBI investigation. You won't want to miss it.